Hello and welcome to a Beyond Boundaries interview with a very dear friend of mine, Bobbie. Hello, Bobbie.
Hello, Max.
Now, we are going to talk all sorts of stuff. So Bobbie and I, we go way back, right?
Yeah.
Maybe ITC Vegas was where it all began? I don't know.
It began when I invited you to Topgolf a few years back.
Topgolf, there you go. And then I think I also said no and then rocked up.
And then you walked up and you're like, welcome.
And then we became best buddies. Bobbie, why don't I let you introduce yourself very quickly and then I'm going to ask you a load of questions.
Okay, so I'm Bobbie Shrivastav. I've been innovating in the insurance space for the past 10 years, now with my second company called Solvrays. And we're on a mission to transform back office operations for insurance.
Okay, love it. Walk me through the journey, right? Because so entrepreneur for 10 years, you say? 15?
Yes.
10.
Yeah, 10.
Before that, you were in the world of insurance, right? So you know this industry.
So before that, I was in the world of financial services.
Okay.
So I worked in companies like PepsiCo, Aon, PepsiCo, worked in mortgage insurance with AIG, with their block that was servicing that. And then I actually took a totally different path. I went and worked for the Center for Creative Leadership, which is the top 5 education institution in the world, with the mission that I love. Like, how do you create leadership and beyond boundaries, right? Just love the name. But it was a very cool organization. I worked in IT because they had an issue with, they wanted to create this concept called paperless classroom. And because of operational issues around managing paper to participants. So you fly in and you're being handed this big notebook at this amazing leadership institute and you can't even take it back. So that was the issue. That was the piece that we innovated on.
Okay. And I can see the connection, right?
Yeah.
But then jumping into the world of entrepreneurship for you, how easy was that? How prepared were you? And was it simply as there's a big enough pain point, I need to lean in and get it solved?
So let me tell you the story about why I started my first company called Sønr. So as a new mom, I was faced with not only I have to take care of my baby, but how do I get my maternity benefits, which was tied to an insurance product? And when I thought it was as easy as sending an email to HR to say, she's here, here's a cute little snap. Now,
sure.
But it didn't. I got a form that I had no idea what I needed to do. And that's the journey that got me to innovate. And as a new parent, you had so much of that, whether it was insurance paperwork, whether it's buying a new policy, because as parents, we have to be responsible citizens and have to buy life insurance as a checklist item, whether it was HR and going through all of this, add people to your policy, add people to your benefits. And that's when my husband and I had the idea of, why are we getting PDFs to turn around to either fax them, which was the insurance carrier, my only digital option was fax, or to email it. And we thought, why can't we build a better solution to say, let's get more out of your documents, which was our tagline at Document.
Okay, amazing. And then roll forward to today.
Yeah.
So what are we on? What business number?
I'm on business number 4.
Business number 4, Bobbie.
But my first InsurTech started in 2016. Yeah. Initially, when we were on the mission of Docsmore, we met with another individual who was a financial advisor who helped us talk about the claims issue. And as somebody that had gone through a claims process, we knew that the tech we had from a document perspective, we got that. Now it's about understanding, why is this a bigger pain point? And when you do the research and when you go to every single carrier, especially on the life and annuity side, and look at their claims process, even now, what you will see is, here's a link, here's a download, or call us.
How did you get to for them to allow you a site of all that? How did you get
it's online? It's online.
Okay, because you just studied that from.
So our first, when we built the prototype of Kiva, we actually we did like 3 demos, and one of those demos was a customer that said, "Hey, this is great because we're having this issue," and because of that first customer, we were able to see in-depth operations of what happens in the plant space. So they helped us build our going from an early prototype to an MVP was because of the carrier.
Nice. And then, and so let's come to stay because I think we probably chat for hours.
Yes.
So with Solvrays, is it easier like this time around? Is it like, I'd love to know where you're focusing, like why you're going again, all of this stuff, right? But let's start with where the business is at, right? Yeah. So how far in are we so far?
So Solvrays, we launched our product at the long-term care conference in March of this year. And thus far, we've got good traction when it comes to pilots, to organizations that are trying to license our technology to build agentic AI capabilities. So this time around, what I would say is it was about speed to execution. Ideas are a dime a dozen. Sure. It's where the rubber meets the road, right? Like we knew that in order to build the solution, it's about having the same principles. A prototype, show to a customer, And that's how we were able to build 12 different capabilities. They're lightweight components because the last thing we need is another monolithic tech. Yeah. And the last thing we need in the industry is here's a piece of technology. Now you go mold your process. Yeah. We wanted to really flip it.
And where's your focus as business?
So initially it was on the lines of business that I'm very familiar with, which is life and reading, long-term care side of the house. But interesting enough, when we were talking in the market and doing a lot of LinkedIn posts about what we're trying to solve, we had several P&C carriers and including brokerage companies that say, we have service departments, we have these same pain points, can we see your tech? And then so one of my pilots is going to be in P&C.
Okay. So I just assumed, maybe incorrectly, that your access to those that are going to pilot your technology were going to come from your network that you've already established, having been in the industry for years. But you're also saying that with your profile, I guess, which is pretty decent now in the space, they're coming inbound to you from your social activity.
It's going inbound, but it's also now leveraging your network and going to events like these to say, I know most of these players, I can educate them in what we're building, how we can help them secure and actually expand your network. So my network was so heavy, life-ish focused, but now I'm expanding scope, and I'm doing that through going and attending conferences, speaking at conferences. By being an innovator in this space, a lot of people, I get invited to present or moderate panels, which I take every single opportunity to do that.
Kind of like the poster girl. You and Bruno from Travelers are the poster girl. So we're doing this recording from InsurTech Hartford Symposium. And your face is everywhere, right? So it's great. So you're front and center.
Yes. And that
headline billing.
I think that is critical for companies, and coming at it from a second time around, you knew that that's your advantage, right? People know you, people trust you. If you do good work in the industry, it's not going to go unnoticed. So even if you're innovating for the second time, and if you listen to your customers, if you do good with your customers, they will never forget you. And I think that's been our focus is we're good people building good tech. We want to solve real problems, and I'm super authentic about it. It was today we had a networking event, and they said, "What's your superpower?" Mine is about solving real problems with authenticity and risk. Because we're going to fail. We're going to make mistakes along the way. We're not perfect, but having grace and showing that to each other is how we lift together.
I like it. Okay. One thing, just maybe the last thing, you talked about the speed to get the products either built or into market. How do you keep that focus on speed? I'm assuming you've got a great team around you as always. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't do it alone. We have a great team, and what we did was we focused on building our solution, but we invited our early advisors, early potential customers to keep giving us feedback. So our advantage is we're not tourists in this insurtech space. We know the market, we know the players, And we know that our credibility is in execution. And one of our chief product officer that we brought in earlier on comes from the industry. So we have people that have lived it, done it, have been in the industry for 25 years. We've been in the insurtech space for the past 10 years, but we come from corporate. So we're taking all of this experience into really wanting to innovate and do good for the insurance industry.
Love it. Right. I am going to wrap it up. I'm going to say big thanks. Bobbie, I'd love, I don't know, just chatting always, right? And in fact, even so Bobbie and I this morning, we did my very first meditation session that Bobbie invited me along to. And yeah, so we're like, and I love this about the industry, right? Brings people together,
yes,
creates friendships. But I want to say massive thanks and a huge best of luck with the business, right? I'm sure you're going to smash it. So yeah, good luck for it all.
Thank you.
All right. Ciao.